You are now tuned in to the Windy City Benders podcast. This is WCBP.
All right, it's another edition of the WCB podcast. So a little bit of change. Usually we'd be dropping up presented by and sponsored by right there, but we have a little bit of a change. As of today, this is our first official episode. We are free agents in the podcasting market again. Our time with the Hockey Podcast Network came to a close. Just a decision that I think felt just right for us as a show and what we want to do going forward. Nothing but great things to say about the Hockey Podcast Network and Dylan and Isha and the guys over there. Can't wait to see where they go with it and how much they grow. Got some stuff that we're going to be working on to bring our show up, and it's going to really come in effect for next season. So this summer we'll kind of slowly put out some information about what we're thinking, but thank you to anybody that came from the Hockey Podcast Network that are new listeners or fellow podcasters on the network. Thank you so much for the time and great to know you. And yeah, best of luck to you guys. And it's time for the next chapter of the WCB podcast. And I am here with Tanner. What's up, bud?
What up?
Long introduction on that one to get to you. My bad.
No, it's all good. I was just reading, just reading things.
We are so re-recording this a couple hours, probably like 2 hours before puck drop of game one of the Stanley Cup final. Singular final. Between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Colorado Avalanche, the series we wanted once the Florida Panthers were eliminated, at least in my end. But super excited for this. But with that being said, there has been so many rumors regarding the Hawks going on that, of course, we talked about it last week with DeBrincat possibly getting traded. And we thought, this is ridiculous. And Tanner's new favorite person, as soon as we stopped recording, had a little tweet. Tanner, what was that little tweet that your favorite person tweeted?
Who was my favorite person?
Your new favorite person?
Is it Frank Seravalli?
Yeah, your best bud.
Oh, yeah, Jesus Christ. What was it? I was literally just looking at it. No,
it was not a matter of
getting heated. Yeah.
It matter of when Alex DeBrincat is traded.
Yeah, fuck that shit. Are you kidding me? I hate that stupid little fucking bit of confidence in his like the way that he says it. Like, oh, it's happening. It's gonna go down. Like, no. It literally says on the Daily Face-Off today with Jason McGregor, whatever, regarding Alex DeBrincat trade, Frank Seravalli says, might be this summer at TDL, trade deadline, but it's happening. I can very confidently say that. Fuck you. No fucking way. I honestly, I hate that. Like, oh, I can confidently say that. It's stupid. So what did I do? I went and looked at all the articles that he writes.
Not petty at all. Not petty at all.
Just to see what his fucking confidence shows. And like, just going back before the trade deadline, he had like his lists of like players that are going to be on the move. And like his earlier lists, he had fucking Thomas Hertl at number 1. He had some other players just like all mixed in, and only 2 out of the top 10 had gotten traded at the deadline or traded in general. And like, I don't give a shit how confident he is. That doesn't tell me anything. I mean, it's so fucking stupid. I just don't understand. Like, you look at the teams that are in the Stanley Cup right now, and at certain points they had like lower times. Like, let's talk about Colorado. They look like a fucking wagon. They were this whole year. They've been the last like couple of years. They had one of almost the worst seasons a few years ago.
They only have what, like 48 points or something like that?
48 points. And that was with like Nate McKinnon, like Landeskog. They had Duchesne at the time. I don't think Rodman was really in the lineup. But you have Landeskog and McKinnon, who are like those younger guys who I think comparably were probably around the same age as like DeBrincat and Doc. And I just don't understand why you would try and get rid of like your like set of players that you should build around to kind of get to where Colorado's at currently. Like it's weird. I don't get it. Like I would understand if they were talking about moving like Taves, Kane, and like the older guys, like I would understand like that kind of movement because they're probably going to be like heading out the door by the time this team is really good again. But DeBrincat and Doc are both the age that would be like in their prime, like upper 20s, like that would be the age that they would be killing it right now. Like it's just so fucking weird to me. And I hate like this dumb confidence that like rumors have of like, oh yeah, they're getting traded. Like I don't fucking trust you.
And then it's making the Hawks like the laughing stock of the league, which they just, if they truly are trading out DeBrincat, they fucking deserve to be the laughing stock of the NHL for that kind of shit. But it's like, it's so frustrating that they keep throwing this shit out. And and it pisses me off because I know what's going to happen. The more you hear about it, the more it's like, fuck, this is happening.
Yeah. I mean, unless there's some sort of like massive, like Brandon Hagel ×2 kind of deal. I just don't like, I understand why Kyle Davidson made the Hagel deal. Like that made sense because that's what was offered. So in my mind, the only way he's trading DeBrincat is if he gets a deal like that or better, where he's like, I mean, I can't really say no to that. I don't think he just goes out and is like, we need to move him. We got to move him for whatever. Like if he does end up getting traded, I'm sure it's going to be like a really good haul in our end. That's what I'm like. I don't see it happening unless it's like something spectacular. And I don't know like what would be like who is going to offer something so spectacular though.
What's more infuriating to you? The trade rumors that DeBrincat is not when he's going to be traded, or the fact that there's still these insiders around the league that are saying that Brinket's not worthy of a haul that some people are saying that he's going to get.
That's so stupid. I
Like,
don't know.
I don't
That's dumb.
like,
that's fucking stupid. He's like a point per game player that scores like 40 fucking plus goals a year. He should have been like a top 3 pick.
Yeah. I know on John Scott's podcast, the Dropping Gloves, he was saying something that DeBrincat numbers are inflated because he played with Patrick Kane.
They said that when he was on the fucking Erie Otters because he played with like McDavid and Dylan Strome. That's so like they said that about Artemi Panarin when he was playing with the Hawks, that his numbers were inflated because of Kane. Like, does anybody not think that like a good player can also just play beside Kane and play well? Like, I don't understand.
I would love to see. I would like to make the argument that Kane's numbers towards the last couple seasons were inflated because of Alex DeBrincat.
That's completely possible.
Kane's been, obviously, it's not confirmed, but obviously he's been playing hurt, not 100%. And I think you can make the argument that DeBrincat has kept him up to that elite category that Kane is known for.
Yeah.
I'm just so infuriated. Like, I don't understand why DeBrincat is even being discussed, why he's even up there. Like,
it just really makes me feel like they're just trying to get like views and like eyes on and like start fucking rumors and shit.
But here,
think about like the big names that like never, like nothing happened. Like back when Stamkos was like about to like sign a deal or get traded, it's like, oh, he's gonna do this, he's gonna do that. He can go to Toronto, he can go to Detroit, and then he ends up just fucking signing in Tampa Bay still. And then how many times did they say that like any day now Eichel's gonna be traded, and that lasted like a year. Like, sure, he got traded, but that's because you could see everything deteriorate. But like when it first started, it was like, oh, hold on. In the next 24 hours, there could be some real big news. And it was just like always like 24 hours later, like there should be something to happen and nothing fucking happens. I just hate it because it's kind of like our biggest player that like these rumors are about. I don't like being on this end of like the trade rumors. Like if it's some other team and they're
Awesome.
like,
Feed it
yeah,
to me.
it's great. I love it. Feed it to me. I hate being a fucking fan of the team that has this shit coming against them.
But this makes me think kind of back to what Taves said after Hagel was traded. He's like, you're being told you're in a rebuild. And if that's not a player that you can rebuild around, I don't know what is.
Right.
And he's saying that about Hagel.
Yes, but that deal we got for Hagel. That's
no,
what I'm saying.
I know. No, I get that. But I'm
sets
saying
the
though,
precedent of like, if like, I don't see how Kyle Davidson could justify trading DeBrincat if it's anything less than 2 firsts and 2 prospects that Hagel got. You know, like that wouldn't make any sense unless it's like the 2nd overall pick, because like that kind of is more valuable than like, that's probably as valuable as like at least a pick and a prospect, a 1st rounder and like a Taylor Radish. So I would still say like to make like comparable deal would have to be like the 2nd overall plus like a prospect or plus another pick. And like that would be cool. But like I just don't see why they would do that.
I don't think, and I don't know, I really don't think this is bias, like just Blackhawk bias and all that. But for what DeBrincat's value is to this team and to who he can be as a potential player and leader of a franchise,
yeah,
I don't think that any DeBrincat trade, we're not going to have the Hagel reaction. We're like, oh, it sucks, but you know what? I like that. I really, truly don't believe that there is a realistic trade out there that is going to make Blackhawk fans go, no, that's fine. I understand that. Short of getting some already established superstar, I don't think that anybody's going to be happy with it. And I don't think that, and that's probably the problem with being a Blackhawks fan and following this team, and that it's like, everybody's got you cannot say you don't have a bias, especially when you cover a team or you are close to a team. You're going to have some sort of bias, but I truly don't I think if I was on the outside looking in, I'd be like, the Hawks are not going to get what DeBrincat's worth out of a trade.
Right.
And I think everybody sees that. And I think that's why this team is looking, Kyle Davidson is potentially setting himself up to be a fucking clown like Bowman and look like a fucking idiot.
I still just don't think that he's going to do something stupid. He hasn't done anything stupid yet. So I don't know. Like the thing that they say too is just like, oh, like he's also due for $9 million at least to re-sign him. It's like, yeah,
and
okay.
And people are saying too that that's another reason why the Hawks shouldn't be getting what they think is the value. No, you still have him under control.
Yeah.
Just because the qualifying offers that, you don't have to sign him for that. You just have to qualify him for that. That's it. And if you can't make it work, okay, cool. You got him on a 1-year, $9 million deal. Prove it again. Prove that you are still a 40 goal scorer.
No, I mean, even if you wanted to trade him, and the whole issue is the deal, like you can have the Hawks do like a sign and trade. Like I just don't see like, just because he has 1 year left, he's still an RFA, that the 1 year left on his deal lowers his value. Like that doesn't make sense.
No, I hope that come July 13th when free agency opens, we get a fucking curveball and it's the Blackhawks announce that they have re-signed Alex DeBrincat to an 8-year deal.
Yeah.
And I hope that's the case.
$10 million. I'm fine with it. 8-year, $10 million deal. And then Patrick Kane just also signs an 8-year, $10 million deal. DeBrincat fills Taves' shoes as like Kaner's contract mate.
But going back to like what I said about like what Taves said when the Hagel trade happened. If that's how he felt about Hagel, what the fuck do you think is going through his mind when he's seeing all this shit? Like, unless Kyle Davidson's like, hey man, like, here's the plan. You know, like if I really truly wonder what the transparency is there between Kyle Davidson and Jonathan Taves and Patrick Kane. Like do they know? Because clearly, if they see this, they're going to be like, what the fuck?
I don't know, man. Like, I would hope that I don't know. I just like wish somebody would come out and be like, yeah, those rumors aren't true. Because just moving a little bit ahead, but like speaking of like trade rumors, when people were like John Gibson asked for a trade out of Anaheim, and then John Gibson comes out and just goes, no, I didn't. He's like, I'm actually pretty interested to see what my team does in the offseason.
Did he actually come out and say something?
Yeah.
Oh,
I saw,
didn't see that.
I had seen it on like Reddit or something, or on Instagram, where it's like, yeah, John Gibson actually said, I did not say that. I did not ask for a trade, or I did not say that I was open to being traded. It was really funny. I was like, oh, of course. It's like it's that type of shit where I don't really know to like who to trust on like trade rumors.
You know who you can trust? Kevin Weeks.
Kevin Weeks, yeah.
If you haven't heard from Kevin Weeks, then you're okay. If Kevin Weeks starts dropping, oh, I'm hearing a DeBrincat trade coming, then you get fucking nervous.
Let's see if I can find.
I just if
DeBrincat... it was on Puck Report NHL Instagram, and it says their thing news. Gibson tells Anaheim he's open to being dealt, and then it says in their caption, it says Monday edit. John Gibson, quote, none of that is true. I haven't had a conversation with anybody there. I want to win in Anaheim. I've been here and I'm happy to be here. So shit like that, when it comes out, I'm just like, are we just trying to make headlines? Are we just trying to like push articles? We're just trying to like get people like riled up? Because it's that kind of shit, man.
But it's like one of those things too. Yeah, it's like one of those things though too, though. It's like where there's smoke, there's fire type of thing. And it's like it's getting very, very, very smoky here in Chicago. And it's getting really fucking scary.
I mean, I understand like them wanting to make moves, and just because like this team's not good. Like with the team that's on the ice, like I enjoy a lot of the players that are on the team, but the team is just like not a good fucking team. Like they're clearly not, they didn't play well. So you want to make changes in like the biggest piece you have to like kind of accelerate a rebuild is DeBrincat, but he's also the biggest piece that you would want to build around.
Right. And so
that's why I understand why like some outsider would be like, uh-oh, are the Hawks looking to trade Alex DeBrincat? Like that makes the most sense. It's like if you wanted to shake things up because they have no movement clauses with Kane, Taves, and Jones. I just feel like rumors fucking are rumors for a reason. It's just to start shit.
If DeBrincat gets traded, like realistically, what do we have to even look forward to with this team?
I don't know, because like Kaner wouldn't resign.
Kaner's gonna be gone. Taves is gonna be gone. They're already talking about.
That's the only thing I would look forward to is Kaner breaking records, franchise records, but.
And he needs more than 60 games before the trade deadline.
Yeah. And they were talking about like somebody trying to put out like a tweet that's like, oh, Hawks are taking calls on Doc. It's like they already said they were listening to offers on everybody that was not named Kane, Taves, or Jones. So just saying that they're taking calls, yeah. They're like teams can kick tires doesn't mean they're going to drive away in a fucking Ferrari. So I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I like Kirby, but that one I wouldn't hate if he got dealt. That one I'd be fine with.
I just don't think it's any fault of his own.
No, it's not. It's just
that happens.
Unrealistic expectations given his situation.
Inconsistency in playing. Like he literally comes in, like we said it 1,000 times. He comes in and gets shortened seasons, gets fucking broken wrists, gets multiple coaches. It's just I think he can succeed. I think we can say that enough.
It might just you know what? It might just be one of those situations, a change of scenery. Like I think he's gonna be.
I hope it's not gonna be a situation where, like you say, like it's the PTSD of Bowman. Like I don't want like him to flip Doc for some other like first rounder. Like it'd be weird to me, but I kind of thought about it because like, what if they flip Doc for Kakko? Like second overall, third overall in the same draft, they just get different scenery. Yeah, like that'd be crazy. But I mean, I wouldn't hate it but I kind of would. Yes, I do. Like I said, I like Doc. I think he's going to be really good. It's just, change of scenery for both guys, and maybe they can succeed.
Kakko's got a little bit more proven track record, so that's why I think we would come out ahead on that one. Not big, but I think better than Doc.
Not really. Yeah, I'll pull up that draft class so that you can. I'll tell you how what the points look like for those guys. I think they're really close.
While you're pulling that up, another little rumor going around is that the Hawks aren't even going to qualify Dylan Strome with an offer, which we all know I'm not the biggest Dylan Strome guy, but I think that's fucking stupid not to at least bring him back on a qualified deal.
Right. And try and make a move or something like that.
Worst case, you qualify him, somebody offer sheets him, you get a pick out of it.
Yeah, back to that Kakko thing. Yeah. Kakko has 5 more games played than Kirby Dach and has 1 less point.
1 less point?
Yeah. 157 games, 58 points. Dach has 152 games and 59 points.
Why did it seem like Kakko was doing so much better?
Is it New York's just a better team?
Yeah, maybe. Because that kid line too was like going off in the playoffs.
Yeah, but I mean, it was mostly Lafreniere and Hedl.
That's true.
Like, but the thing too that kind of was a little weird to me, like speaking of those, like that playoffs though, it's like that kid line was playing well. Kakko was noticeable. He just wasn't on the score sheet as much. I think he played well.
Yeah.
And like there was those other rumors, not rumors, but like the shit that comes out where they're like, oh, hey, oh yeah, hey, Gerard Gallant, do you want to talk about like why you decided to scratch Kakko for the game? Nope. During the fucking game. That was so good.
I fucking love that.
Also, Kakko just got no explanation. He showed up to the rink and was told he's not playing. It's like, gotta switch it up, man. That's basically what it is. And like, you're kind of the fall guy that's not on the score sheet, probably.
Yeah, that sucks. I'm surprised. Like, I really thought Kakko was doing better than he was. That's
yeah.
All right, never mind then.
It's like very similar. It's very similar. It's kind of like that whole was it Line for fucking Pierre-Luc Dubois situation. You got the scoring like Finnish winger. Scoring Finnish winger, or like the guy that's supposed to be like the playmaker putting up points, and then the 2-way center, Canadian center as well. And then like, that's crazy. It's weird, the similarities. I don't want to end up giving up more though for Kakko, like a Jack Roslovic type player.
You know where Kakko should go? He should go to fucking Carolina with all the Finns.
Oh wait, no. The Rangers would have to give up a Roslovic type player. I'm trying to think of like what would be an identical deal for Doc and Kakko. I don't know. It's too deep. I got too much shit going on. And also speaking of that whole series, the Barclay Goodrow curse is broken.
Yeah.
Corey Perry broke his curse against Barclay Goodrow, so who knows? Maybe it's cup time for him again. 15 years later.
He does not get to be in the same sentence as Marian Hossa.
Oh yeah.
Don't you dare speak Marian Hossa's name and follow it with Corey Perry.
It's not even how it works.
Fuck
you have to play. You have to play for the team. I mean, honestly, though, if he loses in the final now, I just think that'd be hilarious because he would have lost against Tampa, lost for Tampa. Do you just hang him up then?
Oh my god!
You just go. I guess one's enough.
A sad Corey Perry is equivalent to the crying Marchand after he lost the cup. What was that in 2018?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my god.
No.
But yeah, before we get 2019. Yeah. All right. So before we get more into that, any more you want to talk about the DeBrincat?
Oh no, I was gonna say I think that's the end of Hawks talk. It started trailing off hard.
It's so this reason this is only Hawks talk is because it's really stupid, and I want to bring it up too. I think it was Seravalli too. It might have been Seravalli. Okay. I don't know. I don't remember exactly who was the first one to say it. But
Frank, you're probably a great guy, but you're really making me upset.
hypothetically, if Duncan Keith were to retire this off season,
Yeah.
they threw this out in the universe. I don't understand why. So if it's Frank,
Well,
fuck you, Frank.
It's because Edmonton came out and said that
After
they asked.
came out after this all came up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Either way, apparently Edmonton asked to know from Mike Smith and Duncan Keith by like July 1st if they plan on playing next year. And then everybody's like, oh, if Duncan Keith doesn't play next year, the Hawks are on the fucking hook for
yeah. So I'm
whatever.
trying to pull up really quick if I can find it really. But basically, it was like, oh, if Duncan Keith retires, then this is what happens to the salary cap for the Edmonton Oilers and the Chicago Blackhawks. The Edmonton Oilers would the $5.5 million cap hit would come off the books, but the team would also get a cap credit of $3.4 million.
I don't understand how that works.
Don't understand that. And then, oh no, it was Puckpedia. Sorry, so I apologize, Seravalli. You were off the hook on this one.
You probably had a hand in it.
Yeah. The Blackhawks would have a $7.5 million recapture cap hit, allotted as $5.5 million next season and $2 million in the 23-24 season. What I don't understand is why the Hawks should be held responsible for a contract that they traded. Like, I get it's how it's worded and all that. I just don't understand. It's like hockey's stupid in so many ways. Hockey is extremely stupid when it comes to contract terms and details and all that kind of stuff. What I don't understand is why, if you trade a player, if that player decides to retire when his contract has been traded from your team, you get affected by that player's choices once he's no longer on your team. I don't understand why that's a thing. I get the wording that they put into it, but I don't understand why it's a thing.
Yeah, I think it was just something that they worked into like whatever deals that like whatever CBA they did when they decided that like there was an 8-year contract length is the max, that like teams that signed like these illegal contracts now like would get punished if like those, because that was kind of the way of circumventing the cap at that point, because you give them a ton of money, you guarantee it whatever like $96 million. And you're like, wow, it's a huge deal. But then you make it like a 15-year deal.
Right.
So the average annual value is just like way lower, but it's so front loaded on the contract that like the guy's making like $1 million a year for the last like 5 years of his deal. You're like, okay, so like this is kind of fucking like a shitty way of like getting around the cap. And then if they retire, it's kind of like, okay, cool, whatever. But then they redid the CBA and it's like, hey, now there's a penalty for those fucking deals, and it's on the team that signed it. I just think it's stupid though, because I don't know. I'm sorry, my throat's a little dry. The only other like contract that I know that's illegal like that is Shea Weber.
Yeah, Shea Weber, Hossa, and then was it Longo? Or was Longo because it was a 35 plus?
But active players.
Okay.
Shea Weber is technically still active. He's LTIR'd for the rest of that deal. Like, I don't understand why can't they just be like, oh, Keith, like LTIR, like they have to be like, you're retired.
He's hurt. Yeah, like Keith is hurt. Like he's got a history of injuries. Cool.
Somebody go fucking Tanya Harding Keith. Like I just like we don't. I mean, but the other thing too is like we're not like a cap crunch team that's like trying to compete. And so like if we get hit with it, like that sucks.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It ruins like our cap space to like take on players and get like picks, but it doesn't like ruin anything.
It's like the dumbest thing. And I understand. Like I totally, like I said, I understand the terminology in it. I just don't know why they would agree to that type of thing. And typically like that too is like, why did you allow them to go back to it when in the new CBA to affect a CBA that to affect the new CBA? I don't understand at all why that was an agreement with it. But again, like you said, we're not hurting for cap space. If there's a time for this to happen, now is the time for it to happen. Let's just get this over with and get done. I don't think that he's going to retire. He just isn't the type of player to me that says I'm gonna give up before my contract's up. If he was gonna retire, I think he would have done it before he got traded.
Absolutely. I don't think Keith is gonna. I honestly, like, even though they're like, hey, like, give us the heads up if you're gonna retire. I think he's not gonna be like, yeah, man, I'm just gonna be done.
He was,
especially with how close they were. They're conference finals,
and he was still a top 4 defenseman for them. Like,
yeah, I think he wants to compete. I could see Mike Smith being like, fuck you guys, I'm still playing too. Like
Smith, I can see.
If it's what a shitty fucking thing to do, though. It's like, okay, like, wow, we suck with our cap space. Hey, do you guys want to retire so that we can have more cap space? That's ridiculous.
I know. I hate everything about the salary cap. I hate how dumb this is and all that kind of stuff. And I hate that it's not going up. And we'll transition with that to the NHL talk. That
I've been sick the last like couple days, and so my throat's like really weird, and it's just like so dry.
No worries.
Like, oh man.
Gary Bettman today had his, like, annual press conference before the Stanley Cup final first game. And one of the things that stood out, there's a little quick notes that one of my favorite accounts, Puck Report NHL, put together.
Yeah, that's quickly become one of my favorites.
Yeah, they put little notes on there, so I don't know full details about like explanation of what he said, but record high revenue this year at $5.2 billion.
Hell yeah, man!
Why can't the salary cap go up then?
Just fuck you. That's why.
You're telling me you can't find a way to make the salary cap. I understand the whole escrow situation, but you're telling me when the players have to pay it back. That's the whole thing.
Yeah. It's probably because of Arizona. Just blame Arizona.
Yeah. But you're telling me that record revenue and you can't find a way to make it like easier for these teams.
Well, I mean, it might go into effect, like all that record revenue might just like go into effect in the next cycle of like next year,
True. Okay.
I don't think you really can plan on like the whole next season based on your current season. I think you have to be like, this season basis like the season afterwards. In my head, that would make more sense.
No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but also you should be paying somebody whose job is to figure out these numbers and how to project and use it to find a way how to make the salary cap go up. Find a way.
I'll fucking do it.
Find a way. A couple other notes. Speaking of Arizona, he said the Coyotes playing at a $4.7 thousand seat ASU arena is not unprecedented. He went on to list how teams like Carolina, Tampa, and Florida have all played in smaller venues, and even said that the Los Angeles Chargers played at a soccer stadium while their new stadium was being built.
Yeah.
Fun fact, all the stadiums he listed were almost double the size of the 4.7 thousand seats.
Hey, I'm telling you right now, Arizona could end up being the next Tampa Bay, Carolina, or Florida. Look at those teams thriving right now.
Again, I am very happy that they're trying to make it work in Arizona just because of the Kachina jerseys alone.
Yeah.
I
also really want to go to a game. Like, how incredible is that going to be? Like a college hockey atmosphere for a fucking NHL game.
I would give anything just to hear them say, yeah, no, the situation's fucked and we're just trying not to look stupid.
This shit's really stupid, but
that's
like
the only reason.
Soon.
Yeah, like I don't understand. Like that's the only thing. Like just admit that this is ridiculous and not like this is not unprecedented. Like, no, you're shut up.
You're trying to spin it as like it's okay.
You're right. Evander Kane grievance to stretch into July. So this is an interesting thing too. And I was listening to the Steve Dangle podcast and they were talking about this, and I don't know if what they said is true, but if what they said is really true, this is going to get very interesting. The grievance with Evander Kane is whether or not San Jose had a right to terminate his contract.
So is he going back to San Jose?
So if they rule they didn't have the right, does that mean he's a San Jose Shark again?
Or do they have to pay out the rest of his contract?
Right. And if they say, oh no, his contract's not void anymore, how pissed is Colorado if they lose the Stanley Cup for not having Kadri in the lineup because Evander Kane.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh my God, yeah. Because Evander Kane shouldn't have even been on the Edmonton Oilers. What a mess.
If this is even
going to be like, oops.
If this is even a situation, why was he allowed to sign a contract until it's solved?
Man. So was it was this year's contract that was voided?
It was whatever his current his contract was.
So let's say he has to be reimbursed for that contract. Do you remember how much he was in the hole?
Like 28 million, I think 29 million.
Guess how much money is left on that contract?
How much?
28 million. 28 million.
If I'm Evander Kane, I'm going to Vegas. I'm putting it all on black and being like, all right, I'm gonna pay you guys back, and I'm gonna walk away with my contract. Let's go.
I mean, or you're in the same spot you were before. Like, it's fine, whatever.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, that's a very interesting situation.
Just the way the world spins, sometimes things like that just happen to line up so perfectly.
3 quick other things, and then we'll move on from this. Gary Bettmans said that the Stanley Cup cannot go into Russia this summer for cup celebrations.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
2022-2023 schedule will be released in mid-July, and opening night for the 2022-2023 season is October 11th. And
okay,
on top of
Isn't
that,
it like normal?
Yeah, next year it's going back to a normal schedule. So that means free agency will start July 1st next year. It's going all back to the way it has
playoffs start before NBA playoffs.
Yeah, hopefully. Not playing hockey till July, almost July.
I mean, it's kind of cool. Like, NBA has possibly 2 games left. If NHL playoffs are the only ones that are going on, and it's just like baseball, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
I think next year, so isn't it the deal for the the final is it switches every year between TNT and ESPN? Yeah, I really enjoyed the fucking TNT broadcast during the playoffs.
I think TNT blows ESPN out of the water.
It's I mean, Colorado just scored.
Oh, I'm not watching
it. ESPN definitely probably. What a good way to say things. They definitely reach more people. But I think TNT definitely has the better broadcast. It's just, I love the whole panel, and they just do like some goofy shit, like it's very lighthearted, but it's easy to watch. It's not so like intense.
Well, like I'll say too with it, like great. I will be the first to admit with the Chicklets like hype and all that kind of stuff, I was very like over in like biz and stuff. Watching him on that panel, just being the fucking weird goofball, like the Charles Barkley of that panel.
Literally sits right next to Wayne Gretzky.
I know it's hilarious. Like one of my favorite things is that when Witt shaved his head in Calgary. Or was it Edmonton?
It's Edmonton.
And Gretzky's right next to him, like after that, and Biz has got his head shaved, and Gretzky's like looking off camera, and somebody took a meme and was like, Gretzky just eyeing his agent, get me the fuck off of this show. It's so funny, like the little moments, like too, like when Biz was like doing this little like 2-step dance, like little jig, like off the screen on like little stuff like that. Like, I mean, that kind of stuff. I'm like, small doses of Biz like that has been great.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just they do a great job with their NBA coverage.
Yeah.
And they're doing a great job transitioning that to the NHL, and I fucking love it.
Charles Barkley is a huge deal for that too.
So funny.
And the fact that he like loves hockey is like the best part about it as well.
The best thing is saying in the middle on coverage, of the NBA playoffs. And he says that I'm not watching another single NBA game. I'm watching the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Right. It's crazy.
Hilarious. It's amazing.
He could be the link that brings these two like sports together.
Yeah.
I mean, just speaking about him, I just got the other thing where they brought the Stanley Cup onto the NBA show, and he's like, I'm not touching that. It's like, don't you know I'm not allowed to touch trophies?
Because he never won it. And
he never won. Yeah. It was just fucking hilarious, man.
There was a little clip too of him like the other day. We're getting so off topic, but it was like Charles Barkley is just like a giant child. Like they were doing like some demonstration, and Shaq goes and blocks the guy, and Charles goes up and he like punches Shaq, and Shaq starts chasing him, and he's running off like a little kid, like was running away after like doing something wrong you're not supposed to. Like, oh, Colorado scored again. I'm watching it now. But yeah, so yeah, TNT is doing great. I wish they had full coverage of it. ESPN is exactly what I thought it was going to be. It's like it's there. It's just there.
Yeah, it's sports.
Yeah. So
do you just one last thing about with the TNT like crowd and everything? Do you think Shaq could lift the cup with one hand? Just palm it? Just like
no.
I know. I think
he could get it. He might be able to get it up a little bit.
Just
I don't think he can
just like hold it like a chalice and just like drink out of it with one hand.
Well, I just found a clip.
That'd be really fucking funny.
Oh man, that's great. Yeah, so real bummer it's on ESPN, but I guess apparently in our group chat, Noli and Dice are both saying glad Ray's on the call for this. Ray Ferraro's doing the call, so must be doing some good job there.
Yeah, and good thing it's not the Rangers in the final, because all you would hear is Ray Ferraro just making jokes about the kid line. That's what that was bothering the shit out of me.
I know you said it last week too.
Yeah.
Went off. Your Frank Seravalli rant today was the
first 5-hole goal allowed in the playoffs. Are you kidding me? Sorry, I'm just reading that. Like, okay, now it's going to be distracted, but do we have anything else before? Oh,
just so real quick, coaches changes. Bruce Cassidy to Vegas. He becomes the third coach in franchise history, which is even ridiculous to say when your franchise is only 5 years old. So basically Bruce Cassidy is going to be available when the Hawks are ready to compete again in like 2 years, maybe 3 years.
Yeah, probably. So he was like the last coach released, and he's like the first coach like scooped up.
He's
right?
smart.
I don't even know who else was. Has anybody else signed?
No, he's the
like
only
before
one.
him.
No, I think Vegas is smart, realizing that they're not going to get Trotz, who's like the number one guy. So they just hurry it before they lost out another good candidate.
Yeah, they picked up a Jack Adams award-winning coach. So
I think he's bitter. Like he is pissed off, and he's ready to like just go and prove that he can do this. And
he's gonna have a healthy Vegas team too.
It'll be interesting.
So I'm sure they'll be scary still. Oh yeah, like I'm sure they'll try and do some other bullshit that they did, but I don't even know what kind of room they're going to be having. Oh, their projected cap space right now is $200,000.
And that's with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys on. Oh, it's just regular IR. Never mind.
Yeah, and only 2 of them have contracts, so it's fine.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, but other than Cassidy, Tortorella is apparently offered the job in Philly.
That comes from Kevin Weeks, so we know it's true.
Yeah, there you go. So it doesn't say that he's been like signed or anything, but he's been offered the job. So
it just seems like a total. That seems like a total perfect fit. I think gritty hockey. They want to play gritty hockey. They want to be the Broad Street Bullies and all that kind of stuff. And there's no fancy players on there.
He loves grit. Their mascot is gritty. I think he does really I don't know if I'd say he does really well with goalies, but his goalies tend to play really well. And Carter Hart hasn't been like too stellar since his like rookie year. So maybe he'll bounce back with like a little more defensive, gritty minded Tortorella. I'm sure he's gonna love Sean Couturier. Like that, he's gonna be like, that guy is the best player I've ever had.
Yeah. You know what I really hope though? I hope game 1, if he is the coach, first shift, Atkinson tries to do the Michigan, just to piss off
and
the
then
coach.
and they get sat for the entire season.
Yeah, the second something like that happens, or if I'm the first time Zegers plays Philly, fucking do it and just see what happens.
Oh, Tortorella jumps on the ice in 2 hands of himself.
Remember the Vancouver?
Stop hockey.
Was the Vancouver Calgary incident where he went to the other locker room? The fucking started fight.
Was it?
Yeah, but yeah. So that's really all news. Let's go into Stanley Cup really quick. Game 1's obviously happening right now.
Slightly distracted.
Yeah. Game 1's happening right now. So by the time this is done, probably what we said is going to just not make any sense. But a couple quick facts about this final. It's the first cup where both teams' name does not end in the letter S.
Yep.
Cool little fact. Nice little Jeopardy fact for the future.
Yep.
First time since 2001 that 2 Norris nominated defensemen are playing each other in the cup final. The last time was Bork and Stevens.
That's crazy.
It's insane. And it kind of shows funny how much the Norris has changed that Scott Stevens was nominated.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know how many points he would put up in a season. I know he had a hard clapper, but
hard
find out.
Hard hitting. I mean, still my favorite Scott Stevens memory, and I feel so bad that's my favorite, but is just killing Paul Kariya.
It's not that great.
But
Scott
it was
Stevens
amazing.
finished with 908 points in his career.
Oh shit.
So it's not like he was like inept at scoring.
Yeah. But you don't think when you think
what year was that though? You
2001.
Said 2001. Oh, 2001. He had 31 points.
What? It's a difference.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We already talked about the Corey Perry effect on the cup final, that he might get to be in the same category as Marian Hossa, which is probably the only reason why would cheer against Tampa Bay in the situation. Another interesting little thing is that I think, what is it? Pat Maroon has won 15 straight playoff series.
Yeah.
Something like that going. Yep, and he potentially
15.
will win back to back cups if Tampa Bay pulls this off again.
Back to back.
Yes. Yeah. 4 times.
4 times.
Back 4 times. Yeah.
Back and back.
Who would have thought? Patrick Maroon, Stanley Cup juggernaut.
Yeah. Like where's he been this until now? I think he was in Edmonton. That's probably why.
Yeah.
He couldn't do anything to help them.
And before we get to the head-to-head matchup, my one question that I have about this entire series is, win or lose, do you consider the Tampa Bay Lightning a dynasty, or do they need to win to get that official title?
They need to win. That's all I gotta say.
Does that change your opinion of, because you have, and we've all agreed, the Chicago Blackhawks were a dynasty?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Do you consider the Penguins a dynasty?
No, but it was a 2-year span.
They went back to back.
Okay, fair.
I mean, if Tampa loses, that's only a back to back. Like,
they got what? They got swept the year before they won, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They got swept that year before.
That makes sense. I guess that makes sense that the Blackhawks.
And then technically, if you want to say it's a dynasty and that they lose in the final, I mean, you could say the Hawks is still a dynasty anyway. But even in that 3-year span when they just lost in the Western Conference final, like, close enough. I don't know.
I mean, they made the playoffs every year, and that's 3 and 6 span.
Yeah, close enough's not like good. It's not good enough. That's what it is.
All right, that's fair. All right, so let's look at the head-to-head matchup. We'll go down.
If they win another one though within the same time frame that the Hawks won 3, then I'd say yeah.
If they do like 3 and 4 or something like that.
3 and 6. Just 3 and 6.
Okay.
That's what the Hawks
But do they have to continuously make the playoffs each year?
Why? What? You don't think they would? Wow,
I'm just saying though, like, do they
Nick Paul scores the weirdest goals.
He score again?
Yeah.
So it's 2-1?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, no, I'm saying though, it's like, say, because I mean, after this year, I hope they fucking lose and they don't make the playoffs because of the first round pick.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But I'm saying, like, so you're saying if they won 3 and 6 and say they miss one playoff 1 year,
yeah, that's weird. Dynasty? The Hawks almost missed the playoffs right in 2011. They literally made it on the last game of the season because like Minnesota lost in like overtime or some shit.
I remember that. That was awesome.
That was stupid. The Hawks needed to win. They lost. Yeah. And then they ended up still making it because Minnesota lost. It was something dumb like that. I don't know. Like, they need to win another one. That's it.
So you got 3 more years to win one more cup to get in the Hawks category.
Well, here now I don't know. It's kind of weird because like now I'm thinking, like, what happens if Pittsburgh wins one next year?
That's been way too long.
You think it's way too long? Is it
16, 17?
16, 17, 23. Yeah, I guess so.
That's almost 7. That's almost 7 years. Like, you're 6 years right now from the first cup.
Yeah.
That's insane that's been 6 years already.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's not a dynasty. It's 3 and 7. That's not a dynasty. 3 and 6 is a dynasty.
All right, so let's go look at this matchup head to head. We'll start with the very easy one. So basically, we'll say who you think has the advantage in the category. We'll start with the simple, easy answer. And if
I got one more thing about the dynasty.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I think the other part of it that kind of makes the Hawks a dynasty is the fact that like one of the cups they won was against a former Stanley Cup champion as well. So like if Tampa were to come back and win against like the Avalanche next year or something like that, I'd be like, yeah, that's kind of a dynasty. And then they also they beat like the Kings in 2013, who also had won 2 cups in that same time frame. So it's kind of like, I mean, they really only lost to like the LA Kings in that 1 year too. So it's kind of like they were basically the best team and then just got beat out by somebody else that was really good. Yeah. I don't fucking know, man. It's too much. It's too much going on in my head.
So basically all you're saying is Tampa, you want to be a dynasty, just fucking win.
Yeah.
Just fucking win. Don't even put a question.
Do you remember when we used to just say, hey, Tampa, be better? We fucking should not have said that because they did way too much. They were like, okay. And then we're like, we'll be best forever. And it was like, oh no.
We are the best. Fuck, we woke up a beast.
Yeah. Thanks, Columbus.
Yeah. So, all right. So again, we're going to head-to-head matchup each category. We'll go real quick. We'll get this wrapped up. This is the easiest one. And I think if we disagree on this one, we got some issues here. Who wins in the category of goalies?
Tampa. Easy.
100%. Yeah. Who's even playing for Colorado?
Kemper's playing.
He is playing. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's plain and simple. I think if you need explanation on why Tampa Bay wins that category, then you probably have just picked up hockey and just look up Vasilevsky. You're welcome.
Yes.
Let's go with probably the hardest category.
I mean, how weird is it for Colorado to go from playing Mike Smith to playing Andrei Vasilevsky in the next round?
Yeah.
It's the same as like the Rangers playing Antti Ranta than Vasilevsky, but like Ranta's still way better than Mike Smith.
And how like big do you think Tampa Bay's eyes are that they're playing? They go from Igor to Darcy.
Yeah.
Or even who knows? Maybe might even be
Igor to Darcy.
All right, defense. This is probably I think the toughest of the two.
Hide.
I It's very, yeah. I mean, you got, like we said earlier, the two Norris candidates in Hedman and Makar. Makar is just a damn freak of nature. We've mentioned he's like one of the few players that has had multiple, like what was it, 9-point games or 9 points in a 4-game sweep, and he did it twice in the same playoff. I think right now he's got to be favored for Conn Smythe.
Yeah, I would say so.
And then Victor Hedman's just Victor Hedman.
Yeah, they're just crazy good. And then, I mean, even like the one thing that hurts Colorado is that Sam Girard is hurt. He's kind of like one of their top 4 guys. But when you come, like, who would you say is the second best defenseman on Tampa?
I'm just pulling up their list, and
probably like Ryan McDonough.
Probably,
right?
Yeah.
And then it's Devin Taves. And honestly, I think Devin Taves might be a little bit better.
Devin Taves is sick.
Yeah, but that's the weirdest thing though. I think Ryan McDonough is like a much more defensive kind of guy. But I think Devin Taves kind of can do it all.
Devin Taves is, he's like your more all-around player.
And then I don't even know who's in the lineup. Like, is Bowen Byram playing? He's like a wild card for me if he's playing.
Yeah.
It's like just the inexperience can go either way in the playoffs. Like sometimes a player having the inexperience, like it's like they don't know they don't know that the pressure is so high, or they feel the pressure way too much. You know, like it's weird. That's why I just think it's like tied though. Like Eric Johnson's like a solid defenseman as well.
Everybody cancels.
Josh Manson.
I think each defenseman cancels each other out.
Yeah.
I think if you, and even it's like if you maybe try to find like a little reason on why Victor Hedman's better or Kel Makar is better, the reason you would say for each of that, Hedman's got the experience and the age and like, you know, been there, done that. Makar's got he's the young, he doesn't have as much experience, but his skill is already years beyond and what he should be. Like that cancels out. Like, yeah, I think defense is just a straight up draw.
Yeah, it's really it's hard to fucking say. Like, all right, so right now it's Jack Johnson, which is hilarious, Bowen Byram, Eric Johnson, Devin Taves, Cale Makar, Josh Manson, and then on Tampa, you got Zach Bogosian, Ryan McDonough, Jan Ruda, Victor Hedman, Eric Chernak, and Mikhail Sergachev. It's such a toss up. That's all.
Sergachev feels like underrated too.
That's the thing where I feel like Sergachev made more, or his name was more like out there like years prior, where like I think nobody really talks about him anymore. Like maybe he's just kind of like flattened out.
And the fact that he's only 23.
Yeah, that's also kind of wild though too.
Like he feels like Gibson. Like whenever people talk about Gibson, I feel like he should be like
he's 22.
like his mid 30s now, like going on 40. Like how long it felt like he's been in the league.
What is he, like 28?
How
old is John Gibson?
Man, Ducks have a lot of cap space. He's 28.
Oh, nailed it. Yeah, he's been in the league since he was like 22, something like that.
The Ducks have almost $39.5 million in cap space.
Give it all to Zegras.
All right, so that's a tie. Offense.
Honestly, like because Kadri's hurt, I think you got to give it to Tampa. They have Braden Point back.
Tampa's scary. Their offense is scary. I mean, don't get me wrong, Colorado, they are very scary as well.
Right. It's not like it's not like they win by a lot. It's very close. Like the best player on the ice is probably Nate McKinnon, but the best line that'll be on the ice, it depends. Like, yeah, I don't know. Is McKinnon going with Landeskog and Rantanen, or are they swapping them out? Because like if it's Stamkos and Kucherov and whoever else they have on that line, like Palat or something, like that's still a weak
penalty. Sorry.
Yeah. It's I don't
Give
know.
the advantage. Okay, I'm changing. Give the advantage to Colorado for defense. If McCarr's able to draw penalties like that.
Yeah, right.
But no, I think what the Colorado's got that like amazing like first line like star power where Tampa Bay is and that reminds me of the Hawks championship teams where all four lines can hurt you.
They're very deep.
It's a very deep. Any team could, any player and any line could be the difference maker. I mean, look, Nick Paul fucking won the series against Toronto for them.
Yeah, true.
Hagel's come up big a couple times for them.
Yeah, he had so many scoring chances in Game 7 against the Rangers. Like it was every other scoring chance was for Brandon Hagel. I don't know. It's such a close one too, and I think I would have given it to Colorado had Kadri been in. But since he's hurt, I think I'm gonna go with like Tampa.
Yeah, I think Tampa, especially with Point coming back.
Yeah.
Now the question is if Point
just offense as a whole. Is he?
Is he going to play the whole? Like he's been playing, but is he going to be able to hold up and whatever his injury, like the injury was, is it going to be able to hold up for potentially 7 games to make this work?
I don't know.
That'll be interesting. And then the fact too that you got Stamkos, who everybody was writing off, saying like they need to trade him, they need to move on. That's another goal power play. And he's just had a big like fuck you year to everybody that doubted him. Like I've always liked Stamkos, and I'm glad he's been able to have his like little comeback story.
Yeah.
And we're saying that as he's the captain of a defending Stanley Cup champion.
Right. But I mean in the first cup, like he didn't really get a chance to like do much.
He played
one shift? Yeah, he played the like a couple shifts and scored a goal.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Goddamn, Colorado.
Nice little tip. So, all right.
We're talking about like who's got the like better offense, and Colorado's up 3-1 right now.
Exactly. And that's
like,
what we're saying.
Tampa's got the better offense. It's like, I mean, who knows, man? Like, these teams are so evenly matched.
And this is also the question too, though. It's like, what was the advantage? Was it the advantage of the rest versus, less, most recently played?
Yeah. I think this is going to end up being one of the best finals that we've seen in a while. These teams are so like closely matched. It's fucking great.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. And we're going to talk.
It's going to be electric.
We already posted our picks on Instagram. You took Tampa in 7. I took Colorado in 7. But honestly, I'm happy with whoever. I like because it is so close in skill, and in these, it's truly for the first time in a long time, it's best versus best. And I'm just excited. And what I'm really cheering for is 7 games.
Yeah, basically, I want like 7.
Yeah, I don't care who wins. Just give me 7 games. But if Tampa does win, I kind of have to go all in on Tampa next year for that 4-peat. Hasn't been done since the 80s.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it if if they have any cap space or like cap issues.
No, they're right up.
Don't they need Braden Point? They like have a deal. They have to sign him or something.
They're about -$2 million in projected space right now. They still have to sign. Palat is like their big.
Oh, I think Palat's gone. That's why they brought in Hagel.
Yeah. Ruda, Paul, Palat, Riley Nash.
Oh, Points. Oh, wait. Is Points deal kicking in next year? Yeah, his 9.5 is kicking in next year. That's why.
So
how fucking ridiculous is it though that like they can sign these guys for less than 10 million because there's no state tax in Florida?
That needs to be changed. That needs to be there needs
like there should be like they should all the contract should be based off of like a specific tax bracket. Something like that. Even like, you shouldn't be getting breaks based off of the state that your fucking team plays in.
Yeah.
If there's a cap, like certain teams are going to be crunched by the cap harder than others just based off of taxes alone.
Right.
Like that's fucking ridiculous. Whatever. Fix it.
Yeah, I don't know. So, all right. So that is episode 180 or 181. Sorry. Last week was 180. 181. I think we're just gonna call. You want to call this new next chapter, or you want to call it free agents?
You choose.
Okay, cool. Choose. So that is episode 181. Make sure to follow us on social media at WCB Podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Rate 5 stars. What might be cool with the new feed that we are using for hosting the podcast, the video might show up on Spotify now.
Oh,
so you could watch us on Spotify.
No shit.
Yeah, not 100% sure on that. There's like little terminology on the page and all that kind of talking about it, but we'll see. So you might be able to see our beautiful faces on Spotify. So you might not have to, but still subscribe to YouTube, because I will guarantee you this. We're going to start utilizing this YouTube a lot more going forward, especially into next season. So get there now. Be ready. You got anything else?
No, man. Let's go 7. Let's go 7, baby.
7. Let's go. You know what? I'm going to do 2 titles. I'm going to do next chapter, aka Let's Go 7. Let's go.
Yeah, I was gonna in my head I wanted to say Let's Go 7, but you gave me the choice of the other 2.
Yeah. No, fine. Fuck it. Let's Go 7. That's the name of the title. Let's go.
There we go.
There we go. All right. See you guys later.
All right. Love you, boys. Bye.
The Windy City Benders Podcast. Subscribe to the show on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and YouTube. And follow the boys on socials at WCB Podcast.